We're going to prepare for meditation. So good morning, everybody. My name is Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at CSL Redlands. And I'm so very grateful and thankful for each of you who are here today to join us for our meditation service. Inviting you wherever you are to become still and mindful of your breathing. Let's take in some nice, easy, deliberate breaths in and out together, just slow and steady. We breathe in the divine breath. And we exhale out another divine breath for twice as long. And we breathe in that divine breath. Pure source energy coming through every organ, action, function, cell, and fiber, atom of our being. And we exhale and release that same divine healing breath throughout every organ, action, function, cell, atom and fiber of our being. As we center into the center of the I am that I am, we're fully held and rocked and cradled by the divine that created you perfect, the divine that created you whole, the divine that created you a masterpiece in its mind's eye, perfectly recognized, perfectly known, knows every hair on the top of your head, so you are perfectly safe in the arms of the divine. However that appears for you in your mind's eye, accept that for yourself. Feel what it feels like to be cradled and held. Allow for whatever healing is most needed now to flow through you with ease and with grace. For Spirit always is awaiting an open portal, a willing participant for entry of the divine, to have its full sway even more in, through, and as your very life. Together, let's breathe that in and sink into this awareness. Be in touch with your breath and breathing. recognize it as a divine and holy breath. Allow for the healing energy of your breath to heal and transform and transmute any areas in your conscious or unconscious that are up for healing, transmutation, revelation, demonstration, manifestation for your highest and best good now. It's as simple as your healing breath. Allow it. Allow yourself to sink in even deeper and anchor in to the center of your center, that I am that I am. Allow for yourself to feel and sense your heartbeat. Are you willing to recognize it as the heartbeat of the divine? And with your body's physical eyes closed, with the eyelids resting, see if you would allow for your inner knower or third eye to open. Some find that in between the brow. See if there's a revelation or easy message awaiting for you within the inner knower that knows. And don't force that. Simply allow and invite that. Maybe an image, maybe a word, could be a phrase. Simply invite. Could also be a feeling tone. Be still and know that you are the I am. And in this sacred time of stillness, how good it is to know that the divine breath breathes me, that the divine breath breathes each of you now. Allow for that gratitude to just fill within the beingness and the heart space, the body temple, all the chakras. Sense and feel the lavender to deep purple light. How good it is to further know that the divine beats our heart and is the heartbeat of the I am that I am. Allow for silvery colored lights of healing to just infuse this knowledge and knowing. And just allow for gratitude to fill the heart space. As we continue to know that and be grateful for that divine, the third eye, the knower that knows, is always within me, it's within you, to reveal the beauty and majesty of all the ancestors, all the knowledge that's most needed in this moment in time, to take you anytime you wish to the next level of your highest and best good, by your willingness to request and release into it. We breathe that in with the golden rays and the power of the sun, that warmth and energy. Each of you a ray of the divine, each of you part of the whole. Feel what that feels like to have that divine power as your birthright. And with a grateful heart, I just invite you to take a conscious breath, slowly breathing our awareness with each further breath and subsequent breath back to the body temple in full. Back to this place within the chair or wherever you sit. Becoming more aware with each breath of your physicalness. You may want to tap your toes to the ground, being certain you can feel Gaia, Mother Earth, supporting you. You may want to gently tap the fingertips easily together. We remain in this gratitude. We have released this transformative energy into this sacred sanctuary. So for each person who now enters it, they may receive their own healing and transformation. We may receive our own individualized healing, transformation, whatever's for your greatest and highest good. And this completes today's meditation. To each of you, how grateful I am. Namaste.
Come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize a God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the love of each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Everybody get up on your feet. Yeah, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 So is yours. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message
Thank you, Al, for that powerful energy and music just running through our souls this morning. Thank you, thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. All right, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Redlands. Thank you to everyone joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube and here in our beautiful sanctuary. My name is Darryl Prince, and it's truly a privilege and an honor to welcome you to our Sunday celebration service. CSL Redlands is a new thought community living in an ancient wisdom philosophy based on science of mind. The science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes studied truths from all the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths and developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. CSL Redlands is an open and inclusive community honoring all people from every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are on your journey of faith, you're always welcome here. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. If you're here for the first time, please raise your hand and let us properly greet you. All right. Woohoo! All right. All right. We know you have a choice for your spiritual community, and again, we are delighted to have you visit with us today. And just a general reminder, please silence your cell phones and some announcements. And you can find the announcement also on the back of your program as well. So you have them there. All right, you're invited to join Joe Nelson in the practitioner's room on Sunday mornings at 9:15. This is our pray-in time. We pray for our center congregations, friends, and spiritual directors. All are welcome. And we have a reminder, we have a special members meeting Saturday, November 13th. This meeting can be attended in person, and you can join via Zoom. Please see the insert in your program for more information. And we have coming up Sunday, November 13th. All right. Thank you, Sanja, for correcting that. Okay, and we have a great event coming up. It's called the Metaphysical Artisan Fair and Shopping Bazaar, a community event for entertainment purposes only, next Saturday, November 5th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out, invite your friends. Let's have some fun and raise funds for our beloved center. And CSL Redlands presents the Clapping Monkeys on Saturday, November 19th from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. Come and enjoy an afternoon of kirtan chants and mantras, music for mind, body, and spirit. The tickets are $27. We need 10 sign-ups ASAP. All right, and thank you to Holly, Phil, and Noni for the beautiful fall decorations on our tables. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Now I'll read to you our visioning statement for the visioning that we did a couple weeks ago. And we have a magnificent group of visioners that includes myself, Eileen, Ellen, Maria, and Glenwood joined us as well, as well as Iris, who was absent, but here in spirit always. And our visioning statement goes like this: what is God's highest idea for CSL Redlands congregation? And what came out of our visioning says, knowing that God is a glowing light within us, we love and live life without fear, worry, and doubt, forever expanding our heart, mind, and soul beyond the reach of limiting thoughts and restrictions towards outreach, compassion, and service for our beloved spiritual community. All right. Okay, and now we'll turn it back over to Mr. Al Yankee.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Katelyn. And I just want to say before I move into our prayer treatment this morning that today was one of those days where I was seeking sustenance, where I needed to be fed. And already I feel fed full. And I have such joy and gratitude for this sanctuary and each of you here today. I feel loved and supported and heard, even though I haven't said a word. So thank you. And thank you, Al. That was, whew. And so today, I am going to call forth the rhythm of the heart. I'm going to call forth that space within us that infinitely pulsates the aliveness of who we are, each of us, together and as one. All week long, what's been coming to me is the heart knows the way by heart. And so I'm calling forth that knowing today. Brother Mark so deliciously and delightfully invoked the heart today. in his exquisite meditation. The heart is being called forth and resounding now to those powerful healing tones that we just heard from beloved Al. Today is a day that we get to remember that indeed there is a place within each of us that knows that it knows that it knows the way forward, even in the seeming darkest times. That if we seek, we're heard. If we avail our consciousness to being fed from that higher connection that Mark was talking about, the Ajna chakra, the point between the two eyebrows, that space of upper level awakening, that we're heard, we're fed, we're sustained, we're supported, we're divinely guided toward that is God's idea for right action. We don't have to understand any of it to know it all. And so I'm calling forth that blank canvas in consciousness now that is willing to be moment by sacred moment as it unfolds, implicitly trusting in that divine knowing. Remembering that the angels of the divine have gone before and made the path straight and clear and elevated, and all we need to do is be willing to put a toe in, to be received. And I call forth that sweet space of receptivity that is within us all, beyond diagnosis and prognosis and current situations or circumstances, that says yes to living out loud, that is willing to be an even greater expression of who we always are, especially in the harder times. And so as I rest into this knowing, as I gather and call forth the richness of this morning that's already been established, I invite each of us here today to bask in that divine sustenance that we're feeling now, to allow ourselves to partake in this banquet that's before us now, so that when we step out today into this world, into the seeming uncertainties of it all, that we remember that we know the truth already. And we can rest into the gentle and comforting embrace of spirit when we forget. When we have those moments of spiritual brain fog or amnesia, and we forget that we're never alone. This day, I invite us to remember God is all there is, even now. And so I give profound thanks, first of all, for the opportunity that it is to live a life of service, for that call that was within me long before I ever referred to it as a practitioner or a minister, that call to be more of who I am. Because I know that's the truth for each of us here today. And so as we embark on this holiday season, because it officially starts with Halloween, that we do so with delight and joy and gratitude and reverence for every sweet moment of life, and that we're willing to be there as the divine sustenance for those who are suffering, for those who maybe can't see the light today, this day. So from a consciousness of gratitude, I release my word, recognizing that gratitude as divine sustenance is self-fulfilling, and that it's growing within each of us now, so that we are indeed fed full and able to give infinitely in the world. So trusting that thy will is already done and we get to step out and rejoice in it, I release my word. I celebrate this day and all that has comprised this service today. All these sweet servants of spirit who have gathered to make this day as exquisite as it already is. So together we say, and so it is. Amen. Okay, this is a reading, a lovely reading I got to glance at this morning by Michael Meade. I love it already. As people are learning all over again in the modern world, when people who would not acknowledge their own woundedness are given power, they will make new wounds and possibly wound everyone because of their need to deny their own woundedness. The word heal means to cure, and specifically to make whole. It turns out that being a whole person means we have to accept our vulnerable parts too, and that we have to accept and learn to face our original inner wounds. For in this old mythological understanding, the faithful event of being wounded early in life creates the need for a deep healing process that becomes the path of awakening for each person. The path of the wounded healer leads to a connection to the deep self within, which is our connection to wholeness, which is the root of all human capacity to heal. There's an old idea that says that in the way that something greater than ourselves wounds us early on, something greater than ourselves seeks to awaken through the specific wounds we carry. In that sense, denying the inner wound means also denying the essence of the deep soul or the centering self, which holds the exact medicine that we're looking for. In some mythic stories, the wound inside a person is called the sacred affliction or the holy wound. There's another play on words in which the wound, which can be seen as a whole, can also be seen as a holy element that secretly holds the natural antidote, the inner medicine that we also brought to life. The wounded healer is ever wounded and ever able to find ways of healing. It's an archetypal condition. The point has never been to become perfect or perfectly healed or completely whole. The point has always been to become holy. That is to say, complete with our vulnerabilities and our wounds alike, because the wound becomes a womb from which we are intended to be reborn again and again. And that's why the old saying was, the afflicted are holy. And so it is. Thank you.
Treated me kind, sweet destiny, carried me through desperation, always there waiting for me. It took so long, still I believe somehow the thing that I needed would find me eventually. I have a vision of love, and it's the only thing I'll ever need. Prayed through the night, I felt felt so alone, suffered through alienation, carried the weight on my own, had to be strong, or so I believed, and now I know I've succeeded in finding the place I conceived. I have a vision of love, and it's the only thing I'll ever need. I have a vision of love, and it's the only thing that I'll need. I've realized a dream and visualized everything coming to me. Feel so alive, so thankful I've received the answer heaven sent down to me. Prayed through the nights, down on my knees, knowing the thing that I needed would find me eventually. It treated me kind, sweet destiny, and I'm eternally grateful for ecstasy found in release. I have a vision of love, and it's the only thing that I'll need. I have a vision of love, and it's the only thing I'll ever need. I have a vision of love, and it's the only thing I'll ever need. I have a vision of love, and it's the only thing I'll ever
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Yankee. And so the practitioners are coming forward for the panel. It's an awesome opportunity for you here. Is that why some people stayed home? Some people are like, I'm afraid to know this. So good morning, I'm Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here, and we have
Reverend Katelyn Shea O'Connell.
And practitioner Darryl Prince.
You guys want to hold this? And then...
Sure.
So let's use this mic if we can. David, is it on? So if there's questions that come in on the chat, let us know. Just okay. Can you let us know if there's something that comes in online? Today we're really grateful to Sanja, our spiritual director, for letting us have a day where practitioners can help to lead the main message. And so I think the thing that really speaks to me is that sometimes we have these pre-prepared messages that are given all throughout the year, but life happens in between. And so sometimes some of the subjects that come up seem like they're not exactly in the moment what we should be or could be speaking about. So I know that many are watching remotely. I know that many are here in the sanctuary. What's coming forth to you as a topic that you want to have addressed? We may not do it first, but we're going to take everybody's feedback, and then we're going to go ahead and share the mic and share the time and go from there. What's coming up? What's that? It's okay. We asked them last week too. Can you put on Sanja's mic as well?
So a lot of people are.
Yeah, you need to move that because that's.
Move it here?
Yeah. I would move closer.
Okay, we're just going to move on with the program. So let's.
So a lot of people are, we watch the news all the time.
Yeah.
And things are happening all around the world. And so as practitioners, how do we stay positive? How do we see the truth in when these times have got a war over here and famine over here and floods over here? So
Yeah, stay
I
right
know
there.
a lot of people.
Stay right there, because that's the thing. Like, don't leave us, because that's the thing. That's the thing that I think, in a nutshell, what was very, very clear to me coming in preparation for this week is that there's a human and there's a divine, and there's the divinity within your humanness as well. And the idea of the practitioner is always to see perfect God, perfect man. Now, what Sandra was speaking about is really important, because some people say, well, I won't watch the news. I won't read a newspaper. It doesn't make all the horrific things happening not happen. And it also, when Sandra was saying we want to reach for the positive, I'm here to tell you that we can reach for the positive, and at the same time, I don't want you to shortcut that. I don't want you to pretend like, oh, there isn't a war. I mean, if you're like, the other day I was on the treadmill at the gym, and the news is coming through, and even the scrolling lines, it's one after the other of the craziest, most humanly insane, making you really question like the decency of human beings. We're really at that point right here and right now. And so in spite of all that, how do we take it to that level without just pretending? Like, we're not just saying get a wand and forget about all the other stuff. In fact, if you listen to the reading or you were participating in the meditation, absolutely, it's saying use the woundedness, use the brokenness, and as a human, we've got to feel those things. We've got to feel them. We're not here to mask over anything. Go ahead.
So no spiritual bypass.
Okay, tell people what that is, if you would.
Hey, you guys.
Okay.
You guys.
So that means like it's a shortcut, like just to say, oh, there's no war. There's just light and love. Really? So it's to explore any topic. To me, the way to do this is to have a self-revelation. Like to if you're in pain, I'm okay with sitting in the pain. I've had healers tell me that I want to explore every ounce of my pain, and that was optional. But for me, it was my key to help heal myself more completely. Does that make sense?
Because doing anything less is dishonoring
Yeah.
of the feelings. And
Come talk if you would. Or you have the mic there.
Do you want me up?
Well, I just wanted to give people the
Yeah, and don't leave us too long, because we want you to be part of it.
Okay. I want to speak to the word vulnerability that came up in the reading today. Because I have to say that there were many, many years where the word vulnerability was like, I couldn't get it out, and that is, I literally mean that. Many processes and workshops, and I was, standing for that I'm a loving, powerful, vulnerable woman, and I had challenges with that. Because my old belief system told me that to be vulnerable was to be broken somehow, was to be raw and incapable of functioning maybe. And what I've come to know is that because vulnerability is a direct line to the heart, that it's the greatest access to the power of the heart, which I feel, especially in the divine feminine energy, is the strongest power we have. It's our ability to connect. It's what makes us real and human and evokes our empathy, where we can really remember that there by the grace of God. That could be me in that instant. So, and I'm having opportunities with that with my family this week. And my mom navigated something this week with her heart. And moving through the family dynamic, I've had to continue to rest into my vulnerability and my non-judgment to stay non-reactive to some of the things that are points of view of other members of the family who don't see things the way that I do, who don't view the possibility of death as finite, that spirit is eternal. So I've had to practice resting into my vulnerability, my open-hearted space, in order to have compassion and to stay out of judgment of those members of my family who I'm certain love my mother every bit as much as I do, but it shows up differently. And I believe that we as practitioners have opportunities to do that when we sit with you and navigate those places of pain and challenge within you to not go to judgment, is to allow ourselves to connect on a heart level. Into me, I let you see. Intimacy. Into me, I let you see. I allow myself to be seen in order to see you with the eyes of the higher heart, the higher knowing. So thanks.
All right, so yeah, going back to the question, that Sanja had asked. Yeah, there's not only are there these things going on, in the world that, and some of it, is things, bad things, things that we wish not would occur. But we also have things going on around us in our inner circle as well, within our families and friends. Some of these things are challenges that come up in our lives. We see or we experience family members with challenges, and we experience our friends having challenges, or we experience death in our families and things of that nature. So we have a lot of stuff we have to process, in our daily walk, in our lives. And how do we maintain that high vibrational level that we really need to have in order to deal with these things, right? And so we have, we have a lot of tools that's available to us that we talk about all the time, during our services, that we have. And, those tools are things that help us keep us grounded. So I think one of the big things is finding that level of grounding that will help you move through the changes and challenges in your life, and that's very important. Meditation is really important to help you do that. One of the things we did in our practitioner training is that we always, studied ourselves. We looked into ourselves to identify a lot of, what's going on within us, because how do you help others in prayer and things like that if you don't know what's going on within you? And so, those are things that we had to do, and we had to really work on ourselves, to help us help others who need prayer in the world. And so, yeah, it's all of these things. It's, staying connected, grounded to spirit, it's...
So what is one of the things that you do? Because when you find yourself challenged, I know you...
Well, I go within. I pray a lot, I know Sanja says to me, when do you pray? And, because you're always working and stuff like that. It's like I pray on my way to work. I pray at work. I pray on my way home. I pray at night, before I go to bed. I pray for the highest vibration of spirit, moving through me and moving through my situations and moving through my family and friends. And I pray for all of you, and that's what I do. And I also, I do drumming. So I'm just holding up a drum back there. Yeah, I drum for myself, to get that bring that energy, just to keep the energy up and flowing in the levels that it needs to be. So I try to find things that just keep me uplifted amongst, and not dwell on what I see, in what, I experience in the world, every day. And so that's what I would provide. Okay.
Thank you. So other tools too, let's talk about other tools. We got, you said meditation. There's vision and visioning, there's journaling. What other tools? I use exercise for me with the trainer, sometimes pickleball. Releasing grunts and yells helps me a lot, even if it's just a ball, right? Hopefully not to hurt anybody else. What else? Yoga.
Yoga.
What else?
Any form of creative expression.
Creative expression. It could be writing poems.
Taps
We have
you right into spirit.
music.
Yeah. Prayer is our
Singing.
first charge.
Could be
Yes,
singing.
That's what I do. When I sing in the mornings, I put on
You sing?
music and I'm just singing all over the house. It brightens me up. It makes me feel good.
And what is singing except for energy, right?
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that to give some message today, which we're giving lots of messages, but as the holidays are approaching, you're going to be called to places you don't often go. And you're in charge of your energy. So we're going to ask and invite you to pay attention to everything that was spoken here. I know that no one can change your energy without your permission. So if you've had enough of an exposure to a place, or you know that you're going to need to do extra exercise before you go to a place, prepare yourself. And also, you are free. You're free not to go, or to go for a limited time. Right?
I think Katelyn said something one time. I think you said it, that no is a full sentence.
Yes. To be able to say no comfortably, unequivocally, and not feel like you have to expound on why no. No can simply mean I'm not in a space to give more at this moment, which becomes a self-honoring. And for people who are givers, that can be a really challenging one. The more that I contribute to myself authentically, the more that I have in my spiritual bank account to give. But if we self-abandon and we neglect what's essential to our feeling whole, then we begin giving from a place which is not overflow, and we can become fatigued, resentful, all those things that we as givers don't want to recognize sometimes, but it's the reality of it. Physical energy is finite. Spirit is infinite. So whatever we need to do to tap into infinite flow, that's what we need to do in those most challenging times. On my way to the hospital the other night, my dearest friend of 40-something years, who can say anything to me, basically had to say to me, snap out of it, because I was in a frenzy on my way to the operating room. My emotions had gotten the best of me. Sometimes that's the kind of interruption we need when we're in emotional overwhelm and we need to get back to center. And he said to me, you need to be for your mom who you are for everybody else in your life. And you need to get there now, because you're 5 minutes from the hospital. And it was like, whoa. I didn't like it when he said it. And I said something about not being compassionate, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. I needed that interruption to remember divine truth, even in the center, especially in the center of seeming chaos and uncertainty. So, and I just want to speak to this idea of unceasing prayer. Darryl talked about that, right? As practitioners, our first charge is prayer. That's it. That's what we're told. If we answered nothing else in our boards and we said our role is to pray, we probably pass, because the bottom line is everything else centers around that. But what's meant by it is, like Mark was talking about working out, we're building spiritual muscle. And we're holding a consciousness of prayer in all that we are, everywhere we are, so that when we need to lean into it, we're sustained from within, because it's unceasing. And Ram Dass said something one time about prayer and meditation. There's a point at which all of life becomes a moving meditation. And for me, that means unceasing prayer. When I'm in a consciousness of stillness, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it's who I'm being. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just, yeah, and that was beautiful, what you guys have talked about and sharing. One of the other things I wanted to just add to that is that, we're living in a world of, where energy is flowing, constantly everywhere. And the good and the bad energy. And so the more good energy that you have, because the bad energy is going to interact with us as we exist in our world. But the more of the good energy that we're able to cultivate within ourselves, that will overcome the negative or the lower energies, right? And so Sanja's
So you're not calling it. So you're just talking about low vibration. You're not talking about, because we say it is what it is. So you're talking about lower vibration instead of the higher vibration. But you're calling it good and bad.
Right, yes, I'm talking, right, yeah. And in essence, yes, that's what I'm referring to is
The lower
the various
vibration.
vibrational energies, and the more higher vibrational energy that we are able to cultivate for ourselves, the better position we are, and the more grounded we can be, right? And the more things we can achieve and accomplish, because we're talking really about what interacts with that energy. It's negative, or it's resistance. Mm-hmm. So the resistance that we create, or that we cultivate, or that we are not able to release and get rid of, it actually blocks our energy. And so that's one of the things we have to focus on as well, with all that's going on around us, is to pipe down that resistance, okay? Find ways, exercising, I also write. I love to write as well. So I write as well. That's part of my, cultivating of myself. And music, like Sanja said, there's a lot of different things that we can do to really lower that resistance in our minds and our hearts, in our heart space, our mind to heart space. And that way our chi, or our energy, flows at this greater level.
I was laughing because Darryl talks about music, and he's really big for music. And so we had the grandkids over this weekend, and he had them sitting next to him watching Sade and telling him about the music, and look at the Hollywood Bowl, and look at all of this. So one of the things I know about him is that he likes to invite people into that space where he's in, so they get a piece of it. They share in a piece of what he loves, and it's always a learning experience too for them. So yeah, he does. He digs into music, he turns it up, and I'm often upstairs, and I have to turn the volume down on the light switch pad because I can hear it upstairs. So yeah, so I just wanted to bring that out because there is a lot going on. But go ahead, Brother Mark.
Other examples as well of untruths are like gossip, right? Is a low frequency.
No, absolutely.
Rumor,
Yeah.
Spreading untruths, all this, and that's heavy right now. And so sometimes if you're in meditation, and sometimes you'll see I do this at the end of a meditation, you can do this for yourself. It's hermetically sealing each person, that only your best and highest good may reach you, right? In the image of Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, when she comes down in the bubble, I see that you can bubble yourself. Mm-hmm. And you could say, if it's not for my highest and best good, it's not for me. It may not penetrate through that bubble. And you're powerful enough to do that. So we didn't hear, did anybody have something you want to address from the audience? If so, just raise your hand. Lady in the back.
Sure, this would be a question for the practitioners. Once a
hold on. They want you to, he wants, because for the video. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Once a treatment has been spoken and the truth accepted, is it beneficial to repeat it? And if it is it beneficial for the person receiving the treatment, or is it beneficial for the person giving the treatment?
Wow. Do you want me to answer it, or you want to answer it?
You can start.
And then we'll see if you have any. Okay. So Holmes, our founder, would say you repeat the treatment till you have the demonstration or manifestation. And at the same time, I say that when my word is spoken and it's done, I rest on that rock of truth. Meaning, you can join me anytime you want. It's like I'm literally on the rock of truth in the ocean, and the waves are crashing all around, and it doesn't matter. And one time when I was speaking, does that make sense what I'm saying? I'm going to wait there for you to join me there. And the other thing is, one time I spoke at a ordination. I think it was somebody in San Bernardino. It was for Reverend George Hahn II. And the words came out of me that this prayer is a living thing, and you may breathe into it at any time. So sometimes someone will ask, they'll say, Katelyn, that was amazing, or Darryl, that was amazing what you said and what you prayed, and they have no idea what they said. They have no idea what they prayed. Or they say, can you tell me again what that one part of your prayer was? And you're like, no. But you can watch it on tape. That's the beauty of these things being taped. Because you can get, and when you capture it, you can breathe into it later. It's like you could be in the middle of a workout or a walk or a jog or somewhere on a hike, and you just can go. And you can breathe in that prayer again to reactivate to the higher, knowing, and you must know, because it's your feeling tone that produces a result. You must know that you know that you know that it's good, it's so, it's true, it's done, and so it is. What so you were going to say? I was going to say,
so you're saying the prayer, when you do the prayer, it's a living, breathing thing,
yes.
And like we say, we hold that for the person until they join us.
Exactly. And the thing is, like it may, like this whole configuration at that same event that I was telling you about, one of the other speakers said something I never heard before. They said, we will never gather in this configuration again. Because we can't take for granted that tomorrow is for anyone, and that everyone who's here is meant to be here for that moment. It was the most beautiful thing. It really, like, there's few things that really get me to be still and go, dang, that's awesome. And that was one of those things, because this is like, it wouldn't be the same without Darryl here. It would definitely not be the same without Reverend Katelyn here. It would not be the same without Sandra or me here, or any of you here. Right. So what's the next, or do you have any more to add to that one? And then we'll go to the next question. Because we're going to go a little bit over time, about 7 to 10 minutes over time.
I want to say that my gauge, when I'm explaining in the most simplistic way possible a 5-step prayer treatment, I talk about the realization, the 3rd step. I taught aerobics for many years. I talk about it as the aerobic peak. And for me, what it is when the highest vibration, the fire of spirit, that always spoke to me in practitioner training, when the fire of spirit ignites. And what Mark said about, like, when we know that we know that we know, we as practitioners know when that's been spoken is realized. That's why it's called the realization. So it's realized when all of who we are knows it and feels it and affirms it. There are schools of thought that say, treat until it hits your feet. I go more with this direction. If we're in the absolute, then we're in the knowing. And we're standing in that truth until whatever it is or whomever it is meets us there. That's our job.
So the only word that I had out of the Science of Mind text to read today, you just said.
I did?
Absolute. The unconditioned, that which nothing can limit, that which forever transcends any conceivable limitation. Unconditioned perfection, self-existent, self-sufficient. It's a synonym for God.
Thy grace is sufficient.
Truth is absolute and remains unaffected in the opinions, desires, or beliefs.
Yes?
So if I understand, Reverend Katelyn, you allow the truth to reveal itself as you, and that's what you bring forward.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And when you're there, you know it. Darryl wanted to say something, and before we close today, I want to say something about humility, because I think that's essential.
Okay, I'll make it quick. I just wanted to add to the affirmative prayer process in that that process, when someone comes to a practitioner for prayer, guess who we're praying for?
Ourselves. All right.
We're praying, you're bringing what is going on with us as well, because we're all one, right? So what you bring to me and I help you with, guess who else I'm helping? I'm helping myself as well. So that's a really beautiful thing about affirmative prayer that I've learned in my life. So thank anyone that comes to me for prayer. I thank them because it helps me understand me more.
Isn't that kind of selfish? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so I wanted to just, say that.
So that is just beautiful. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Also, for me, I was going to say I don't consider us praying for you. I consider us praying about you. That's really important. What's that? As you. Because if we're praying for, then you're already not at the highest level you could be. But we're praying about it. We're praying to see, despite any appearance, the perfection that is you. So, is there any other question from here? Because if not, I have something. Yes, Maria.
Maria.
Let's in the microphone. The lady in the back has that. The kind lady.
The kind lady. So do you have a technique? Let's say I'm in I just left the center. I'm pumped. I'm like, yes, everything is great, right? And someone at work triggers me, and I'm on my high. And I'm, okay, do you have a technique for me to, at that moment, keep my high?
Well, first of all, she used the word triggered her.
Yeah, people trigger us everywhere, and I know it's the universe, it's whatever, challenging me. Let's see if you're really at your high, right?
Oh, yeah.
So do you have techniques?
Oh, yeah.
You go, oh.
Right. It's about finding stillness in the midst of it. And boy, that sounds so trite, because sometimes it takes everything. So, I think we developed, somebody said toolkits. We develop different means. Sometimes it's if you're feeling in a neutral space where you're not as susceptible to being triggered, then sometimes you can just get quiet, and in a neutral space the stuff rolls off of you. Sometimes I find I have to leave the room. Family installed the buttons that are being pushed, and I recognize that. So where heightened things come up around family or those the closest to us, we can have more of a tendency to be triggered. So sometimes leaving the room is effective enough. It can be, if you're able to communicate and you have a sense of being heard, it's kind of take a rain check on whatever's up so that you can come at it from a more responsive rather than reactive place. Separating who we are from what's going on. And I've had lots of opportunities again this week with that. And I think lastly, I have a British friend who says, "Is this the hill you choose to die on?" She says this often, and it makes me laugh at myself, because in the intensity of a situation, I might feel like this is the hill I'm taking on. But if I can get to a space of response rather than reaction, 9 times out of 10, it's not the hill. It's not the time. And it can either wait or it dissipates, and it doesn't matter. And I don't have to get back to it. So that's part of it too. Yes?
I have something that happens in my house. I have this thing that happens in my house is I have someone living with me that knows the principles. So when I'm going for, he always says, she's going for the juggler. When I'm going for the juggler, he says, pull back, pulled back. It's really a beautiful thing living with someone who knows the science of mind and knows the principles, these truth principles, because when I'm over here, they pull me back. So that's who Darryl is. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, the only thing I want to add is that triggers, those are very, they're very deep and very personal to us, or the things that that trigger us, right? So these things are deep in us, and they come from everywhere, from when we were, growing up to now. And so understanding or doing some work around your own triggers will help you like prepare in advance of, you can almost see the triggers or see the things coming towards you when you've done the exercise of understanding what your triggers are, and then releasing or minimizing the impact of them. So they loom large, right, in your life, or they can, but when you do the work, you basically package them, and then you're able to minimize those things to where they're not easily triggered, or you see them beforehand, and you can prepare yourself on how you respond to them.
Is a trigger an opportunity?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to do more work on yourself. That's what it's the opportunity for.
I was just going to add that a trigger, we could use another word for that, like it's your reminder to pause.
Absolutely.
I like
Because
that.
it's a non-response is a response. And at the same time, when it's for work, I heard you say it's for work, you could say, I'm going to really think about that and get back to you. Because then you're a thoughtful person. And there's nothing good that's going to happen after if we go with it in the moment. I promise you. I have years of experience in that. Okay, so before we wrap up, I wanted to see, there was one thing that's, you want to say something about humility. I want to show a prayer. Jean, are you willing to come up and receive a prayer? And then maybe, I'm not sure if Ed would or not, but Jean, come on up. And then if you would lead it, and then we could just chime in. Sandra, you can. So this is really important because we're just going to do the 5 steps you can follow. Another time we'll come here and just talk about. Come up here, and be. So the thing that I want to point out today is, I want to invite everybody to also pray about all the things that are going right.
Oh,
with
amen.
yourself.
Amen.
Sometimes we don't do that.
Sometimes
Right.
we can go right to gratitude, and
Yeah.
we don't need to get.
And there is
ourselves-
a saying, right? Gratitude is prayer sufficient.
Right.
Who said that? I don't know, but it's not me. I'm just repeating it. Gratitude is prayer sufficient.
There was a slide last week that pointed out that it was last week, it pointed out that we focus on the things that are happening that aren't going right, and we hardly ever focus on the things that are going
Yeah,
right.
we could bless our bills, and
Yes.
that we're trusted with the ability to pay them. We could trust, whatever it is, anything. So without going too personal, and the 1-minute miracles after are really, we find a space or go in the practitioner room with you, and then practitioners are available for various fees, sliding scales, if you want to have sessions or people who are watching remotely. You can go to any Center for Spiritual Living. You could go to the CSL, the global website, and find a prayer partner even. And a practitioner. So we're going to just do a quick demonstration with Jean. Jean's going to stand up and say what she's willing to receive prayer about. And then Katelyn's going to lead it. If Darryl has something to add, he'll add. If I had something to add, I'll add. If Sandra has something to add, we'll add. But the thing is, everyone, isn't this awesome? Because we're all holding Jean so super high. It's unbelievable. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you want.
Okay, can I ask a question before we start? Generally, what I'll do is I'll say, because sometimes people are very much aware of what it is that they want to let go of. So I'll say, what is it that's tripping you up on the human realm right now? What is it that you'd like to release?
And what are you grateful about?
Yes, absolutely,
Well,
but,
first of all, I was saying I'm grateful for the children in my life,
okay.
but what I need to let go of is this control or wanting them to
Yes.
be what I want. I mean, be this perfect little person, or I want to embrace them being themselves, I just, you know, there's a lot going on in their lives. Their parents are separated, and I'm just trying to get them to be good. They are good.
Yeah.
So you know, and I say that to them. You are good, and I'm like, but that's after I'm scolding them about something. So what it is just.
What would you like to claim instead?
Oh, okay. What would I like to claim instead? Okay, here it is.
Okay. Acceptance?
Acceptance. I feel like I'm their mother
Okay.
at times, and so that I can be that, really, truly be that. Loving.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay. It's beautiful. Do you want to sit?
Sit or stand?
It's all
I have
about the
to-
children. Okay.
I have to move closer.
Teaching them. I want to teach them too.
Okay. And so as we rest into this anchoring breath, as we rest into the consciousness of Divine Mother, the soul and the support and the nurturance and the comfort where children are concerned, I absolutely know that right where we are today, we are unified in this consciousness. That each of us here today that is hearing this word, that it's speaking to a place within us all. And as I speak this word on behalf of my beloved soul sister, I affirm that she is seeking is already in abundance within her. And that in the recognition of her humanness wanting to get into the way to orchestrate things, she's perhaps not giving way to that deep inner wisdom that I'm hearing as she speaks today. I know that children are whole, perfect, and complete, and that they are indeed our teachers on this planet, oftentimes not the other way around. And so I am calling forth a patience and a trust and an acceptance of the inner guidance, so that all that is done in the interactions with these beloved children is done from a sacred place of authentic, unconditional loving. There is no right way to be a child, simply to be. So I call forth a consciousness that is an invitation to the play place within, that welcomes all that might sometimes feel like a distraction from a child as an opportunity to recognize that invitation to play, to align in that free, spirited place where there is no line of demarcation between that we refer to as mother and that we refer to as child. And so I bless this time. I bless our gathering here today. I bless the celebration of this truth that was always there, that just has permission now to be brought forth. And I give thanks for the opportunity to speak this word into such a ripe and rich and receptive consciousness now. And so from this consciousness of gratitude, recognizing that the more emphasis we give it and permission we free it with, that gratitude catapults us forward. And so I give all the power and all the thanksgiving to Spirit, knowing that thy will has been made manifest and is free to shine as these lives. And together we say, in celebration, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. I just would like to tell Jean that she is so loving, and she just pours. She pours herself into these children's lives. And you know, just like the prodigal son, they will go over here, but all the love and the support that you poured into them, they will come back. They will come back to center. So I just want to say that because I see how she pours herself in love into these children and how she cares for them. And I just wanted to say that on her behalf, to just let her know that. You are so special. They love you so much, just as you love them. They cannot go too far.
She gave me the prayer. Do you all recognize that? When I asked her what would she like to claim instead, I asked her into that place that knows that it knows that it knows. She self-adjusted before I spoke the prayer. And I got to bask in the consciousness that she established when she said yes. It was that simple.
I'll just add that Jean is perfectly maintained, sustained, and divinely directed and guided. And so sometimes in the frenetic, the pause takes over, and there's only perfect God, perfect Jean, perfect God, perfect the kids. And then anything and everything that has heretofore blocked or hindered, deferred, denied, or delayed, the highest expression of Jean, the highest expression of the kids, it slips away with ease and grace back to the nothingness from where it came, and is instead replaced with the truth. God is at hand, life is at hand, the universe is at hand, source energy is at hand, right here, right now, forevermore.
Can I just share a visual I had right then? Right from here, it was like light.
Oh, the song Firework by Katy Perry?
Right from here, it was beautiful.
Baby, you're a firework.
Firework.
Do we have to stop? Everybody, when the piano person comes, that means our time's up.
Yes, yes. I don't. I've just really enjoyed everything.
Okay, wait, I have to say humility. It's essential. I don't need a mic. Okay. Humility. All of us in roles of service need to keep humility in check. Our own bloated little nothingness has to get out of the way in order for us to be authentically with another, because there's only one. And what can tend to happen is, with tons of workshops and tons of reading and tons of it all, there can be a sense of spiritual arrogance. So what I'm inviting all of you to on this path is to remain teachable, to never think, oh, I got this, whatever this is, because there's always more when we're receptive to deepening and expanding. Okay, thank you.
And so it is.
All right, so we're going to close with a poem here that Brother Mark gave to me here. And it goes like this. I owe myself an apology for all the times I tore myself apart when I neglected my own needs, lowered my standards, berated myself, and put myself down, for the self-sabotage I continually inflicted upon myself, and the times when I apologized for being who I was and expressing myself authentically. And I owe myself the permission to start anew, to forgive myself for the battles I fought that weren't mine to fight, for all the love that I failed to give myself, and for the times when I failed to release or to realize that rather than being broken, I was worthy of value, respect, and beautiful, brilliant things in life, and that how I treated myself dictated how others would view me. And in turn, behave towards me. So by showering myself with love, kindness, forgiveness, and respect, in turn, I could pave the way for others to do the same. Talia Hunter.
We'll be available after service in that small back room for privacy if anybody wants to experience what Jean had experienced. We love you.
Love you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, practitioners. Practitioners, outstanding, superb practitioners. The topic of October has been, and for the last, this is the fifth Sunday, so the last 4 Sundays has been all about our relationship with money, which anybody can read into what the practitioners just said. It's all about our worthiness. to participate in the wealth and grandeur of all that is, that we are an undeniable, inseparable part of. So there's a couple of wonderful New Thought musicians that we know, Eddie Watkins Jr. and Karen Drucker, and they both have written songs about this with the same title. So if you're looking at the program for today, and you see two songs with, thinking it should be one, it's actually two. I put them together because great minds think alike. Eddie Watkins. Money, money, money is coming to me. 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 I can just feel it. I believe it's coming to me now. I'm not worried about how. Money is coming to me. The universe is working for me. I can just feel it. I believe it's working for me now. I'm not worried about how. Money is coming to me. More than enough to live. More than enough to give. More than enough to share. Feels like it's already there. More than enough to shop. More than enough to drop. More than enough to save. Plenty left over to give away. Money is coming to me. I can just feel it. Ooh, I believe it's coming to me now. I'm not worried about how. Money is coming to me. 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 Money's coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me, David. There we go. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Do it with me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Every time I open my heart, I receive all that I need. Knowing love is my source, I relax and let it flow. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. I have all that I need. It's all inside of me. I just ask, oh, and I let go. The Spirit directs the flow. Everybody, money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Louder. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me.
All right. Thank you all for this beautiful collection. I invite you to outstretch your hands with me. I know that CSL Redlands is a successful idea in the mind of spirit and therefore is maintained and sustained for every one of its needs to be met on time, every time. For this, I'm deeply grateful and I'm thankful. I let it be so and invite you to stay together with me. And so it is. And so the ushers can stay in for the closing prayer.
I
Know
just want
that
to say
some.
one.
Go ahead.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
I just want to say one thing. For everybody who's online and everybody who's here, how beautiful it is, this service today. You guys enjoyed it? And how wonderful it is for me to just sit back and bask at all the love and everything that went on here was just so fabulous, just so beautiful. So I want to thank each and every practitioner, minister that participated, and everybody. So I just wanted to say that, and I will just sit back and get some coffee and enjoy the rest of the service as we close out. Thank you. And flats.
So speaking of coffee, so some people say, hey, well, how much you have to give at a center? How much should you be donating? I say a designer cup of coffee every day is your minimum tithe amount. And since money is coming to me, it could be more than that. Let's say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, and Reverend Katelyn is going to join us in the closing, is going to lead the closing prayer. And if she wants to let us speak a word, we will. So we're going to go into the closing prayer. It's not written, it's just for you. Oh, if you haven't hit donate already on the Facebook button, what the heck?
Yeah.
And let us know who you are and where you're watching from. We do accept Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, personal checks, all that stuff.
I'm not looking at anything here, right?
No.
Okay. And so we're going to keep this succinct as I can be. We are going to call forth a consciousness of gratitude today. We are going to move right to that space of gratitude, affirming that there was not a stitch missed in the tapestry that was this day. That everything has aligned perfectly to fill every need that was called forth today. That utter and complete wholeness and perfection was established, and for this I am immensely grateful. And I know that we all align in that gratitude, that sense of feeling fed full. Divine sustenance has been established today, and like money, love is abundance. Divine guidance comes forth abundantly. Truth is ever available in infinite supply. Everywhere we look, that flow is happening now. And so with this overflowing sense of gratitude, I pass to Darryl.
And thank you for those beautiful words that have already been said. And we just know that affirmative prayer, the affirmative prayer process, the affirmative prayer of God is I am, I realize, I unify with God, I give thanks, and I release into the world, into the universal mind concept of the divine energy and source. And so we know that what we pray about come about. And so if we want a world of love and of joy and of peace, we all should join in and pray for that and allow that to step forward and be there for us.
And so continuing in this beautiful, energetic frequency of pure healing, just did you feel it? Did you receive it? Just say yes, yes, yes. So I know that only what is meant for your highest and best good can stick to you like super glue. And anything else slips away with ease and with grace. You don't need to suffer or struggle or have any strife. Just let it go. Anything that's for the lower frequencies, the lower vibrations, as Brother Darryl spoke about earlier, it just has no power. It's vanquished back to the nothingness, the no-thingness from which it came, and instead it's replaced with the truth. God is at hand, Spirit is at hand, universal source energy is at hand, your good is at hand, right here, right now. Do you receive it? All right, make a way, make a space. I know that each of you are blessed in a blessing. There's only perfect God, perfect man. There's only perfect God, perfect me. Just say it. There's only perfect God, and there's only perfect me. And so what I know is the divine that made each of us whole, complete, and perfect, that knows every hair on our head, sustains and maintains for every one of our needs to be met on time, every time. And so if there's a prayer in your heart, the answer is always yes, my beloved, and who I am well pleased. That is the only answer that comes forth. And I lovingly pass my word to our mic'd up spiritual director, Sanja, to close this out. Now come on.
Oh, okay, I'm hot.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Just breathe in this beauty, this peace, this love that they've talked about and shared today. Just take a deep breath in. Feel the love. Feel the joy. Feel the peace. There's really nothing else to be said. It's been said. It's been spoken into reality. So, you beautiful beloveds, take everything that has been shared with you today and go forth. Just move forth in the realization of whose and who you are in this world, in this life, in this universe. Step into it fully. Believe it and be it. And so it is. Amen. And we will enjoy this last song. I think, Al, you have a last song for us?
Mm-hmm. Didn't want to
Okay.
interrupt you.
Okay.
I used to think I'd always be alone, separate, misunderstood. I spent my days in quiet desperation, but on the outside, things looked good. Then I discovered the error of my thinking, the lie at the base of all my fears. So simple that it turned my world around. Oh, why did it take so many years? Now I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open, wide open. There is no separation, no matter what it looks like. There is no separation, no matter what they say. No separation except what I imagine. And I imagine separation's gone away. Now I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. Loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. One more time. I am walking with my eyes wide open. Knowing with my mind wide open. Loving with my heart wide open. Walking with my eyes wide open. Wide open. Wide open. Wide open.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Al Yankee. And then, Phil, you wanted to say something? And then Katelyn, did you want to say something about the squares?
Squares, yeah, okay.
Phil, I'm going to let Katelyn and then you.
Hi, everybody. My mom, Joan, who you all know, is hospitalized and will be for the foreseeable future, let's just say. She had begun a quilt, and we had recently decided it was going to be for the Ukraine. When I say began, it began in Menifee. We have all the squares together at this point. She had it laid out on the table when I came home the other night, and we need to find someone who's willing to sew the squares together and then back it so that we can either use it as a fundraiser here